Okay, we're recording. Javen, I'll let you kick it off tonight.
All right. All right, guys. I sent in the message thread something yesterday that a PDF to kind of talk through and work through tonight when it comes to posting, telling our story and getting people to actually stop on our post, engage with us, actually read what we have to share and go into posting a lot. Because I know when I'm talking to my coaches and Jenna's coaches too, we feel like maybe posting is a struggle area, and it's something that we definitely want to work through. And honestly, we're only going to get better at when we fail at it and we continue to work and improve and get better and better with time and consistency. So I'm going to screen share the PDF. If you didn't print it out, grab you a notebook or something real quickly that you can take notes on and, just scribble down, maybe draw it out, what I'm sharing on the computer. But and I kind of just want this to be an open discussion too. Ask questions if there's something you don't understand. I pulled a few examples of some people that I look to and some posts maybe that we can look at and talk about and discuss as well too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll just jump right in. Again, Jenna and I are twins, so do not judge the fact that I have 50 million tabs open. Okay, yeah. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about tonight: how to write captions that convert, and how are we going to keep our audience until the very end of our post, which is where we want that kind of to wrap it up and grab them at. All right, so the first thing that we need to think about before we even sit down to write up a post, there are some questions that we need to ask ourselves when we say, okay, now's the time, we need to craft up our post, we need to get it out there. And the first one I think is most important is, am I posting with purpose? And what I mean by this is I am not just throwing a post up there because I haven't posted today. I'm just throwing something random with no purpose, just literally trying to get my name on someone's feed. And the reason why we don't want to do this without posting with purpose is because we're going to get frustrated and discouraged when those posts don't get any traction, don't get any likes, don't get any comments, don't get anything from our audience. And they're not going to get that because it didn't have the purpose. So we need to make sure that when we sit down, we know what we want to talk about, and even to the extent of, well, what picture, and I'll go into that a little bit more, but what is my intention for this post? And the intention meaning, what do I want people to get out of it? What do I want them to feel as they read this post? Do I want them to have emotion, as in, telling a story, and I kind of want them to feel the same way that I have felt? Do I want them to laugh? Am I posting to put up some humor and, get engagement that way? That's great too. But you've got to have an intention, and it's the same thing as having that purpose. What do I want my audience to feel or get from my post? Do I want them to connect with me? Do I want them to, what intention? All right, will my ideal client and coach read it and say, me too, girlfriend, me too? Mm-hmm. And the reason why we want them to say this is because when we put up that post, we want to connect with the other Javens out there, or the other Jennas out there, or Corey's, or, whoever it is. We want to connect with our people. And it goes back to our web that we have made, what we want to share about, and our ideal client. We want them to think, oh my goodness, yeah, I was doing that too. And I'll kind of share that. I made a post like that today, so I'll kind of share that too. Would this speak to me if I read it pre-Beachbody? So this is another question that you can ask and think about. Well, I know for me specifically, what made me join and get started was an income progression post. So when I look at my feed, I know that I'm not posting that, and I'm not really sure why. I know why. It's fear, and it's judgment, and it's people judging me. That's what holds me back from doing that. But that is the reason why I signed up for this, is because of an income post. So what posts were speaking to you before you even got started on this journey? Was it, transformation post? What were they saying in those posts that connected to you? Was it a story? They were telling their story and you really connected to that person and grew a relationship, even though you didn't know that person, by them just telling their story on social media. Really think back to, what was speaking to me before I even started this journey. And the last question that you need to ask is, do I have a scroll stopping image to go along with this story or with any post? We know with Instagram specifically, it is a very image-based platform. You need to make sure that you have those clear, bright, vibrant, exciting pictures to go along with your story. Because honestly, guys, if your picture's not good, they're not even going to pay attention to what's in your caption, right? It's the picture first. And that's why it's so important that, we have those clear, crisp images, because if it's not a good picture, no one is going to take that time to read the caption. But if you have a great picture, then yeah, we're going to lead into, well, what's behind this picture? Let's read that caption. Hopefully that makes sense. So those are some questions that you need to ask yourself before you even sit down to this formula. Okay. And this is kind of where I want us to really focus on, is this formula every single time that we are making this question or call to action post, which should be at least three times a week. We should be using this formula. All right. So the first thing is something called a hook. And basically what the hook does is it reels them in. Okay. I'm an early childhood teacher. If you all do not know me, I see some new faces too. So I'm Javen, and I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, and I'm so excited that you're here. But I am a second grade teacher by day, and not right now because, craziness. But when I go to teach every single day, I am teaching 7-year-olds. And if I do not hook them and get their attention, my lesson plan is pointless. I can have the best lesson, but I've got to get the 7-year-olds' attentions first. And it's the same thing with our posting. You've got to throw something out there and hook them to make them want to continue to read more. So maybe it's asking a question, or maybe it's stating a fact, or giving some percentages. It's something that people are going to look at. They're going to read that first sentence and they're going to go oh, let me keep reading. I'm not just starting out with my story, because I have to hook my audience so that they want to continue to read and continue to engage with that post, whatever it is that I'm trying to get them to do on that post. But that hook is honestly one of the most important parts of your caption. It really is the most important part, because I want them to continue to reading. So after the hook, and I'm going to show you some examples. So after the hook, okay, you're going to tell your story, and everyone's story is different, right? Maybe you're telling a story about, let me just go ahead and pull up mine while we talk about it, so I can just kind of show you my hook and story that I did today. So I did a story today a post today about fitness. And I started out by saying, I used to punish myself. And that was my hook, where hopefully people were thinking, oh, what? You used to punish yourself? And then I said, with exercising. So I went on to tell my story. Yes, I grew up playing sports and exercising my entire life. But after high school, when the sports ended, exercising quickly became a punishment for the food I had just put in my body. I'm telling my story. It was a vicious cycle that I couldn't seem to get out of. Binge eat, binge workout, binge eat. I'll just work it off later. Binge workout. The problem was I wasn't finding joy in the journey. I was treating it as a miserable chore. It wasn't until 3 years ago when I had finally had enough of that miserable cycle and I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and join a community of empowering women so I didn't have to do this alone anymore and start working out from home with personal trainers, meal plans, and a schedule. The outcome? I've started smiling again in my workouts. I'm surrounded by encouragement and support daily, and I'm now finding joy in the journey. Because health and fitness is a journey, it's a lifelong journey. And if you're treating it like a miserable chore, like I was, we're missing out on a blessing that is truly meant to be. Now more than ever, our health is important. Taking care of ourselves and our bodies and making sure we're finding joy in what we're doing is huge. I'm thankful that I now catch myself smiling through the sweat every single day. What workouts bring you joy? Or how are you finding joy through the chaos right now? So that is just my example today of how I hooked them, how I told my story to my ideal client and coach, because my ideal client and coach dealt with the same thing that I deal with, binge eating and then binge working out. Eating whatever I wanted to because I knew later on I'll work it off later. But I was in the vicious cycle of not seeing results because of that. So I have to make sure to pinpoint those pain points that I had in my post so that those clients and those coaches can look at that and say, oh yeah, me too. How do you know I'm doing that too? Like, how does she know this? She's talking right to me. That's what you want people to feel and get out of, out of your post. And did you see at the end, you're adding a question. What are you doing to find joy throughout this chaos? What workouts bring you joy? Or maybe you put a call to action at the end. You want them to take action on it. And you say something like, click the link in my bio or drop this emoji below in the comments or something like that. Always wrapping it up with a question or a call to action. What do you want them to do? Because guys, if you don't have that call to action right there, people don't know what to do. They don't know to drop an emoji. They don't know to go click the link in your bio. They don't know to send you a DM. They're too scared. So we've got to make sure to tell them exactly what to do. All right. Here's the part where I really want you all to get out, if you printed it out, or draw this bubble web somehow in your notes sections. But I really want this to kind of maybe be an open discussion and like, let's chat about what are your struggles? Because your struggles that you had before Beachbody or that even you're having right now, this is what you need to share about. This is what you need to be vulnerable about. Because we've got to be vulnerable for people to connect with us and have those moments of saying, me too. How does she's talking right to me. So in these different bubble webs I have, what are your struggles right now financially? Maybe before Beachbody, okay? So I'll talk you through some of my examples. So financially, I am not paid a lot for teaching. And it scared me when I was a newlywed straight out of college and I saw what my salary was. I knew what I wanted for my life and my family, to travel and to give and to, explore the world and have several children. Like, I knew financially my teaching job couldn't get me to the visions and the goals that I saw for my family. And that scared me. And I knew I had to do something about it. So financially, maybe this is to put gas in your car every single week. You are working this business so that you can pay for groceries, or that you can pay for the medical bills, or you can pay for health insurance. You need to think of financially, why are you doing this business? Are you having to do this business for some reason? Those are what need to be in those 3 bubble webs right there. So I'm going to give you just like a minute, and I really want you to think about, what are my struggles that I can share on social media when it comes to financial? And if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself, use the chat box, and really maybe, just chat about it. Maybe someone's financial struggles are your struggles too. Maybe your paycheck covers groceries each week. And without that, you would be having to use a credit card. And, there's so many different whys and reasons and struggles that we all have financially.
And I think that for the financial bubble, depending on how long you've been a coach, like you said, it's maybe you're brand new. That's where you're at now before Beachbody has changed your life. Maybe you've been coaching for a year, 2 years, maybe even just 3 months, and you've noticed a financial increase in your income. Now you can start talking about the benefits of what it's doing for you now. So I think there's like 2 parts to the financial bubble. So for me, I'm putting before Beachbody financial and then after Beachbody financial, because it's important to talk about both. I really believe in sharing. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about career. And I want to say that too, like career might have 2 bubbles, but feel free to like add more bubbles if you think of something, or, move some around, make this yours. But what are your struggles with your career? And that can be a career that you have right now, like with me, full-time teaching. This can be even if you're a stay-at-home mom right now. What are your struggles that you are seeing? Because let's be real, stay-at-home moms, that is a full-time career. So, what are some of the struggles that you can share about? With me, teaching, my struggle is feeling underappreciated and underpaid. It's stress that is caused from data. It's stress caused from behaviors. It is stress caused from long hours. I mean, there are a lot of struggles that I can share about, and I need to do better about sharing this as well. So this is for me just as well as it is for you. But think of a couple of struggles that you have right now. Are you missing, ball games with your kids? Are you, missing, date nights because you're having to work late nights? What are some struggles that you're seeing because of your career? All right, and the next one is family. Okay, so that can kind of back off of, are you missing things with your family? Are you, I don't know, are you not getting to take a vacation because you can't afford it? And that is, sad for your family. You're having to tell them that. Are you telling them that they can't play a sport because you can't afford, the hockey gear? Or, whatever it is. What are some struggles that maybe you all are seeing as a family? And here's the meat of it too. And what I think we really need to share more about are your struggles emotionally and physically. Before Beachbody and even right now. I know this emotional part, like with what our world is going through right now, there's a lot of struggles emotionally. That, there's anxiety, there's depression, there's, all these kinds of emotions that people are feeling, okay? But that's besides the point. Let's think about, what were you emotionally feeling like before you started this journey? So for me, I emotionally ate. I was a binge eater. Whatever emotions I was feeling, if I was sad, I ate. If I was happy, I ate. If, all the emotions, very much an emotional eater. I was younger, so I didn't have, most of the things and the stress that I have now. having a house and a family and all of that. But think about, where were you emotionally? I talked about it earlier and it kind of goes with the physical part where I talked about it in my post today. I would binge eat and then I would binge work out. And emotionally, I was frustrated because I was not seeing results. So that could be another one, frustrated. What were you frustrated about? Were you discouraged because you had tried every single diet out there and it didn't work? Or maybe you're the opposite of that and you did one thing and like you got burnt out with it and you were treating it like a miserable chore. Exercise. All right, hopefully that gave you some time to fill in those 3 bubbles. And then the last one's physical. So what were your struggles physically before Beachbody? Now? Could you not lose the last 10 pounds after having the baby? Were you not seeing results? Were you tired all the time? Had no energy? You just couldn't get throughout the day without a nap or without caffeine or without 3 sodas, without chocolate. Physically, how were you feeling? What were those struggles? Because guys, you're filling this out because your ideal people out there are having those same exact struggles. And all that's waiting for you to do to connect with them is to share about it and be open and be vulnerable and connect with them and build those relationships and open those doors and invite them to come on in. All right, I'm going to move on. If you need more time or questions about that, just let me know. All right, so brainstorming stories of struggles, okay? So basically what you just filled your bubbles on, what specific stories can you tell? Can you think of a specific time that made you feel that way? So, for example, maybe it's a physical story here where someone said, I'll never forget the day that boy called me thunder thighs. For me, this is a physical one. It has nothing to do with like body, but like for me, I was physically made fun of because of my forehead and how big it was. Maybe it wasn't thunder thighs, but that was something that, I will never forget, people making fun of and asking if they could use my forehead as a billboard. And that's just a physical or an emotional story that I can share with someone. How can 2 words hold so much power? Card declined will always haunt me every time I'm in the checkout line. That is a financial story that you can share. Maybe it's not card declined, but you will never forget the anxiety you had going to a checkout line and swiping your card in the fear that it might say card declined. That is a financial story that I can tell to connect with people if you had that anxiety. Now, of course, if you didn't, then, don't share about things that doesn't relate to you. But I know personally, so many of us have probably had that thought going through some kind of line, whether it's for clothes or shopping or groceries, just that fear of it saying card declined. I used to be the girl who would wait until no one was looking to jump out of my chair and into the pool so no one would see my cellulite. I'd sit in pain and hold my pee until I had the opportunity to get up unnoticed. That's another physical or an emotional. I had fear of this. I had fear of people making fun of this. How can you put a pin on those pain points? So make sure in these boxes to write in what are some stories or actual real life things that you have thought or that has happened to you that people can relate to and say, me too. Now, it's the same as like with health and fitness, also with coaching. Brainstorm those coaching stories of wins since you became a coach, those solutions. So the same thing, what has coaching solved? How has coaching solved one of those struggles above? And like I said here, don't be vague. Tell a specific story that has people connecting to you. Physically, emotionally, financially, the community is huge for me. Today I went to Target, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't have to swipe my card in fear. That's going to get someone hooked in and going to want them to keep reading. Today I got out of my chair, looked down at my legs in pride after leg day, and strutted my stuff to the water. That feeling of confidence is fill in the blank. You see how connected? Where before I had fear because my card said card declined. But now I can go to Target and swipe my card and I don't have fear and anxiety anymore. I'm going to wonder what that chick is doing. How in the world has she gone from that to this in 3 years? Whatever she's doing, I want to do too. I'm connecting with those feelings. And in feelings, we build relationships. How good does it feel after leg day or after an upper body day and to look at your arms and actually feel confident in a tank top? Or feel confident because we know summer's coming and I am proud of the way that my shoulders look right now. How does that confidence make you feel? So make sure you fill in those boxes. What has coaching done for those solutions? How has it solved the problems? So if you haven't posted already, or you want to slide this in somewhere and put it in a paper sleeve and just kind of jot it out every single day that you go to post these, do I have a hook? Am I going to capture my audience attention and keep it? Am I telling my story, past to present, struggle to solution? Okay. Yes, I had this struggle. This is what coaching has done to solve it. And at the end of my post, I'm going to make sure that I have a question that you can answer or respond to, or I'm going to have a call to action, and I'm going to tell you to take action on this right now, because now's the time. So I have pulled up just a few examples. So this was Jenna's post actually today too that I pulled. So her hook, this is a real life post. She's saying Instagram versus reality. Okay. And she's being real in this post, saying that she wished that she could, tell you she's been eating clean and all this, but that's not the reality right now for a lot of us. We're stressed out. We're at home 24/7. There's snacks everywhere. There's chocolate. Like, your homegirl has not been eating well. And, she's being real and honest with that. But she's going on and telling that, she's talking about accountability and how, she has the community. She has, the gym. She has a solution. She has superfoods. Now is the perfect time for you to focus on you. Okay. So she's telling people, like, let's not allow our health and fitness to fail just because we're locked in our house and we're going crazy. Can I get an amen? So she's wanting people to like say, amen, I agree, I relate to this 100%. This is Jenna Kutcher. She has a podcast that I listen to, but her hook I really liked because she's telling people right off the bat, double tap if you're currently busy making a list of the things you promise yourself you'll never take for granted again. And I think I'm actually going to do a post like this tomorrow. But she goes in and she talks about like what she will not take for granted again. And she's asking a question here at the end. What's one simple thing that you can't wait to do when all of this ends? People are going to engage and they're going to comment with that. All right, this is Nicolette. And I mean, you can go look at all these people's profiles and just look at all these posts. But her like hook has people filling in the blank. And I think that's a great idea for a hook also. I was sick of feeling fill in the blank. She was feeling worthless, lonely, disconnected, like I wasn't contributing, invisible. These were all the feelings she had before she started coaching. And then she goes on and tells a story and how this coaching has been a solution to feeling worthless, lonely, disconnected, like I wasn't contributing, and feeling invisible. She had the hook, she told the story, and she told the solution. This is Ashley Smith. She's a top coach, has like 100,000 followers. Just a coach that I like and I look up to. And this is just an honesty post. And her hook is like, so I'm going to be honest. And if someone says that in the first line, I'm going to be like, oh, well, what is she being honest about? Well, I want to read this. This is intriguing. I've been in a rut. This plateau, if you will. The scale keeps fluctuating. My gut health is all over the place. Hormones. 6 months pregnant. Every time I move forward, it's like 3 steps back, 3 steps forward because life. You know, just discouraging sometimes. Well, because I'm human too. And then she talks about that I have 2 choices. I can give up because I'm not seeing the results, or I can stay committed to the path I have, do the work. I adapt. I choose grace for myself. And I just keep going. How are you feeling? Anything I can do to support you and help you pour into yourself? She's asking that question at the end. All right, my friends. That's what I have for you tonight. Are there any questions about that? Does that help with posting? I think the main thing is like filling that out and really being open and vulnerable with yourself first. You've got to accept where you were before Beachbody, where you're going, accept what this has already done for you, and how this opportunity, these women on this call, how they have already changed your life for forever. We've got to accept that and be okay with the past and look forward to where we're going in the future. So by filling out those maps, I really want you to sit down and be okay with you are you, and that is the only you out there. God made you, okay? But there are other yous out there in the fact that they have the same struggles. They were in the same place that you were in. And they really want to go to the same place you're wanting to go. They just need someone to connect with and relate to, and someone to grab their hand and say, it's okay, sister. It's okay. I've been there too. Let's do this together. Let's get through it together. But is that person going to be you, or is it going to be Sally Sue that's going to be more open and vulnerable first? That's going to tell their story, and she's going to relate to them because you haven't shared about yours yet. She didn't know that you struggled with binge eating too. She didn't know that you struggled with counting calories and trying to stay under 800 every single day because you didn't share it. And she connected with Sally before she connected with you. And that is one thing that I love about coaching, is that it is my platform. It is your platform. It is our platform to shine our light. And I shared about that in my stories a little bit today. I am only one candle. And I can shine my light if I want to, as bright as I want to. But it's the fact that I cannot shine my light more than just one candle. But when we all start shining our lights together, and we're all shining bright and sharing our story about what God has done for us, and how this opportunity has changed our life, when we put our candles together, guys, our light shines so much farther and shines on so many more people. But if one light goes out, then a lot of lights are going to start going out. And our reach isn't going to be as far. So we've just got to have that courage to put our light on. Be yourself. Because you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are worth this, and you can do this. But you've got to shine your light, you've got to tell your story, and you've got to put yourself out there so that other people can relate and connect to you. Are there any questions? I'm going to check the chat box.
And I guess I would just say something, for those who've been coaching a while, you probably know this, but when we talk about social media and sharing your story, it's not like every single post has to be some deep storytelling post with a call to action and all that. Those are just the things that you want to intertwine with everything else. When you think about posting on your social media, you want to be, yes, inspiring and empowering, and you want to share a piece of you, but you also want to be like entertaining. Like you want people to come to your page because you're funny, or because you said a joke, or you posted a funny meme, or your crazy TikTok video, like whatever it is. And then we also have to think about, like, we want to be educational too, because we have a lot to offer, and we want to offer all of those things in a bundle, not just, fitness, not just this, not just sharing my story, but I want people to come to my page when they need a light, when they need a laugh, but I also want them to come to my page because they relate to me. I also want them to come to my page because I'm going to share some tips that might help them through whatever they're going through. And I want to share some, I want them to come to me for all of the things, not just one, not just this. So I think that's really helpful I think that's really important to keep in mind when it comes to social media. Like I said in the chat box, most of the time people don't necessarily care about what we're doing. They care about why we're doing it and our story and how it's changing our life. That's why we talk about curiosity marketing, not just taking a picture of, a Shakeology bag, but, take a picture of yourself with your Shakeology and say how this change is changing your life. And this is your superfood milkshake that you get to indulge in every single day. They're going to ask you more questions about it and hit that double tap that photo because it's of you and it's your story versus a picture of a product that they're just going to care less about or go buy it themselves and not even talk to you. So that's the difference here also. But I think it's helpful to know who you are. Like Javen was saying, like, this whole call was just simply about your story. Know who you are and pick out those childhood memories that might be a little hard to think about because it's so hurtful, but use that. And you don't have to share your, like, I always say, don't share your deepest, darkest, depressing story, but just, once you start sharing those things, it's amazing the community and the support and all of those people around in social media world that will show you so much love. And through that, I really believe strongly it brings you healing for that specific situation. Because when I first started as a coach, I was salesy. Picture of my Shakeology cup, very surfacey. I love fitness. I'm a fitness robot. That was me as a new coach. But once I started to share my story, which I've never shared before, I never shared about my struggle with eating disorders and blah, blah, blah. But once I did, it was freeing for me. Whether people thought it was crazy, whether people showed me love, I didn't care. I wanted to share because it actually, in a way, made me feel a little bit more free from that thing that's always been weighing on me because I stuffed it all inside. So to kind of think of your social media also kind of as your journal and diary, which sounds weird. Again, not really, and not your deepest, darkest craziness, but share the little things that you know could possibly potentially change one person's life. And if we can change one person's life, that's why we're here. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think that's good too. I've really just been, like you said, at the beginning when we were newbie coaches at the same time, we were just join this every single day. And, you know, but we were also having to post 3 to 4 times a day. And so I think it's really changed in the fact that, you know, you need to put up 1 solid good post a day, maybe 2 sometimes if you feel like it. But, you know, it's changed in the fact that if you put up like 2 good story posts a week, you know, 2 of these things that we've talked about, you're in good. Like, do 1 day where you're sharing tips, 1 day where you're sharing, you know, a recipe or a workout or, you know, something like that. 1 day where you're funny, 1 day you're sharing family, you know, and by the time you do all that, it's like 8 days and you've gone through a week and you get to do it all again. So yeah, what we talked about is not every single day posting because that would take forever. But a couple of times a week, somehow we need to be sharing our story and putting things up there that people can relate to. Because when they relate to that, we start to build those relationships, like Jenna said, and they start to come into your DMs and you start having conversations back and forth. And before you know it, you're friends and you didn't even know this person. So that's really cool. Like she said, you just start to feel better about those struggles and things when you know you're not in it alone. People have gone through it too.
Any other questions or comments?
I think, is it Tyler?
Oh.
I think the fear as like where you said annoying them or turning people off. I am a major people pleaser. I'm probably one of the biggest ones you will ever meet. I get it from my mom who is on this. And, you know, I had the same fear in the beginning, but what I have come to realize is that, you know, one, I'm never telling the story the same way, if that makes sense. I might have like time hops come up now where I've had, you know, been doing this several years, but I can take that post and I can reword it and twist it and repost it again, you know? So I'm never telling the same story the same way. I might talk about like binge eating and a vicious cycle and stuff like I talked about today. I will, of course, tell that again, but I will be doing it in a different way. Now, as far as like turning people off, if those people are turned off by me sharing my story or, you know, then those people are not my people. And that is something that it was so hard for me to come to, honestly, because I want everyone to be my people. I want everyone to like me. I do not like confrontation, none of that, okay? But I've also come to realize that in the business, I am best when I'm serving my people. Yes, I can try to serve the massive, but I'm going to spread myself so thin and I'm not going to do my best for those people. But if I can focus on my people and, you know, bring in coaches who are like me, I am going to do myself and themselves the best service when I am talking and serving to my people. If they're not my people, that is okay. Maybe they're Molly's people or they're, you know, Katie's people. They'll find someone, hopefully. It's just not me. And that's okay. Hopefully that helps.
And I'm going to say one more thing on that.
And as far as like oversharing, you know, not everyone is going to see everything either. And if I say to overshare anywhere, it would be in your stories. You know, you can talk about something in your stories, you know, day after day after day. I don't care, because guess what? They can go tap, 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 swipe if they don't want to watch. That's fine. But I also know there's people in my stories that didn't see it when I talked about it yesterday or shared about it last week. So I've got to make sure that I reshare again in my stories so that, you know, they can see it now. So just don't let that fear or that judgment hold you back from sharing, because that's just a mean girl in your head trying to make you not share your story, because they know that you can inspire and change some lives when you do share.
I'm going to add on to that. Rachel, I see your hand too, but I was just thinking too that if you're feeling, this is my tip. Now, I'm not coming across harsh or anything. That's not my intention. But if you are fearful of being salesy, or if you are feeling like you're going to be salesy, you probably are. So I would if you're excited about something, you will not be salesy. Or maybe you will, but who freaking cares, right? Like Javen said, you're excited about something. It's changing your life. So why wouldn't you shout it from the rooftops? But if you're kind of like not confident and you're like, well, I should, and it's kind of forced, and you're like, well, I should post something and I need to hit Success Club. So, you know, then it might come across as salesy, you know? So I just would say, like, even in your behind the scenes messages, if you're fearful of like, oh, I just feel so salesy, you probably are. You probably are if you're feeling that way. But if you lead with excitement about a program, or if you lead with the exciting things that it's doing for you, and you're just kind of giving a 1 to 2 sentence message on how it's changing your life and how excited you are, that is going to reach more people than, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? I have a 25% discount, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's salesy, you know? So lead with excitement through your posts, through your messaging. And if they think you're salesy, they're not ready for you yet. But if you keep sharing your excitement about it and just keeping consistent with what you're doing, then you will find success. And if you're in your business right now and you're kind of feeling and you're not excited about anything and you're not getting results and you're just like ho-hum about your business, you guaranteed nobody's going to want to sign up with you. So find something that's going to be exciting. Start a new program, commit to it, get results. Try a different nutrition program. Try the 2B mindset. Try the 3-day refresh. Try the ultimate reset. Try a new flavor of Shakeology. Try something new and be excited about something new. Because if we are just like this, people will just feel like this in your social media, and then your engagement's going down. Nobody's watching your stories. You're not interesting anymore. So change it up and be excited, not necessarily exciting, because let's be honest, I'm not always exciting, but if I act like I'm excited about something, that's what draws people in. So Lori, hi.
Hi. You know what we were doing a year ago today?
Yes, I do. Shh.
Yeah, it's in our memories.
We were on a cruise ship eating chocolate cake every single day.
Yes, we were. I ate hot donuts tonight. For anniversary. It's my anniversary.
That's right. Happy anniversary. Okay, Rachel, I saw you raise your hand. I'd love to.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. So my 2 cents on this that I really want to encourage anyone on here who's new or just starting again or whatever. Well, one, this is the perfect place because I needed to hear all of this. I mean, I feel like I've been stuck in knowing what to say, but also if you feel like what you're doing is falling flat or you've done something else in the past, like you can start brand new tomorrow with this new way of reaching people. Like just because someone's reacted in the past or because there's been some judgy people or whatever, like you can, like, it's never too late to do whatever it is that you want to do or to help. And for me, that's why I was so nervous to start posting a year ago for the exact same thing. But then had I not tried it day one and like stunk, I would have never gotten a day 365. And for me, like, it's all about my own story. And sometimes things about my past or my personality, yeah, sometimes they do fall flat. It's just like one of those weird days. But I feel like whatever your experience is, whether it's with an MLM or whether it's with Beachbody or it's just like you're someone who's active, like, it's never too late to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to start over and consider these things. Because for me, that's exactly why I didn't coach sooner, because I thought I had to be a saleswoman. And in the end, it was all about people relating to me and how I could help other people. And even for me, I've not had tons of engagement lately, but like, okay, tomorrow I can start over and get myself together and follow those people. Like for me, like, I look at Jenna, I look at Nicolette, and I look at these people who are doing it right. And then I look at, okay, so how does that relate to me and how can I do that? Because yeah, but it's never too late. Like, I just want to say, like, if there's people on here who haven't posted yet or haven't posted in a while or are scared to even start posting, like, it's never too late to start trying to get that right. And I'm done.
And I will say one thing too, if you are a newer coach, or if maybe you've kind of fallen off and you're trying to get back, whatever, if you're letting the fear of posting hold you back from actually posting, stop right now. If you're overthinking and overanalyzing, well, I don't know my story, I don't have a hook, I don't know, I don't have a call to action, I don't know what's going on, I'm just not going to do anything. That's worse than just putting up a post and hoping for the best. Let me just tell you that, because who cares if it sucks? Who cares if it sounds salesy? Who cares if it's a horrible picture? Who freaking cares? You are starting from where you are starting from. And the only way you're going to get better, the only way you're going to learn what your following wants, who you are, and what you want to represent for yourself in this business is just doing it. So do it. Who cares? Stop being in analysis paralysis, trying to get all your ducks in a row before doing anything, because there's no way anybody can get all their ducks in a row before doing anything. And I would rather see a post up that you are trying your best and you're in this business and you're just throwing yourself out there and kind of flailing, which we all have done, is so much better than having the perfect post with the perfect picture with, 1,000 likes, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I wanted to say that because I just feel like I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. Like, you have to post this, this, and this, and you have to be entertaining. You have to do this. You have to do this. You don't. But if you just stay stuck where you're at and you're not posting anything, that's the worst place you can be. So if you're not used to posting on social media, if you're brand new, don't feel like you have to post every day either. If you're not a poster, work up to it. I would say start 2 to 3 times a week, posting 2 to 3 times a week. Guess what? You're winning. You're moving your business forward by doing that. Okay, so I just wanted to preface that and really send encouragement. We are all in different places in our business. Some of us are brand new. Some of us have been doing this for 3+ years. So just know that not doing anything is way worse than doing something that's not quite right or not perfect. So hopefully that helps you. I just wanted to be serious about that, because it's serious. Like, me and Javen are here to help you, and we take our business seriously more than anything. This is my life, you guys, and you are my life, and this wouldn't even happen without you guys. So I just want the best for you, and that's why I don't know. I just want you to put yourself out there. And if you're struggling with conversations or knowing what to post, guess what? We have amazing message threads and pods where you can literally ask for feedback. And I don't want you to be scared for that. We are not going to judge you for what you have said to this person and you don't know what to say next. We are not going to judge how you've posted something or how you took a picture. We're literally just going to try to help you improve moving forward. So if you are struggling, I want to see our message threads like blowing up with conversations. If you're finding that you're not hitting Success Club, you're not getting anybody to respond back to your messages, It doesn't mean you're a bad coach. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that we have to tweak some things. We have to approach it differently. We have to figure out what's going on there, and maybe we can give you some encouragement, maybe what's working for us, and you can take that and use that and start implementing that and seeing how that works. The only reason you will fail as a coach is if you quit. If you quit and you stop doing the things that it takes to move your business forward, which is inviting, following up, posting on your social media, and connecting with people and doing your programming, then you will fail. And if you cancel your coach account, that's it, but if you still put yourself out there, stay consistent, and keep failing forward and trying new things, you will find your flow and you will find success. So I just want to encourage you guys. We're here to help, and I would love to see more communication with everything, because I'm kind of doing my own thing with my business, while we're here, like just trying my best. I don't feel like I'm doing great right now, you guys. I don't. I feel like everything's kind of failing and falling, and I'm being emotional about things, and I'm over here flailing. I'm flailing. I just put up a post today hoping for the best. I had no idea I was going to post. I had no idea what picture. I literally pulled it out of my ass. And so I just want to encourage you that you don't have to have everything together. That's all. That's all I want to say.
Preach it, sister.
Okay.
Yes, that elevated alliance thread should be going off at all times. And I think Jenna and I are so passionate about message threads. Like we were talking about the other day, we're like, why isn't our message threads like what it was when we started coaching? That is how Jenna and I saw success so quickly in our business, is that we were in a message thread, and we were constantly in there. Every post I was sitting in there saying, how can I make this better? Message thread, I was stuck on a question. I would send it in that message thread. Yes, my coach would maybe not be the person that responded, but maybe Julie did, or Jenna, or Sally Sue. Someone gave me some advice and helped me and made me feel more confident to put that post up there or message that person back. So, we don't take that elevated alliance thread lightly. It really needs just to be a place of, advice and, struggles, and how can I make this better? How can you help me here? And not just for me or Jenna, other people that are giving advice, that's going to make you step into a leadership role. Maybe you don't have a huge team yet, but if you're giving, the faces you see right now, if you're giving them advice, you're practicing leadership right off the bat. So, don't be afraid to go in there and just blow it up, because that's what it's for. Okay, we wanted to share. Oh, yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, and I hope that y'all don't get mad for me saying this, but in the thread, like, I feel like it's died down, and I'm preaching to myself, but we can't go in there like constantly like expecting stuff and not give it anything back. Like, I think like if you're going to go in there and ask for something, like, I know that we all, like, some of you work, some of us are at home, and we all have different schedules, but like, I don't know, like when people post and you just post like a question in there and then you just ignore it, you can't go back in there later on that day and expect somebody else to answer. So like, in order to get something, you got to give as well.
Yeah.
So I just feel like engagement like has went down in the group because everybody's just ask, and no give.
Yeah. And that give doesn't have to come from me or Jenna. That's, I guess, what I was saying, like, don't be afraid to, think, well, oh, that might not be the right answer, so I can't answer that question. Like, if someone answers it incorrectly, then, Jenna or I will come in and fix it. But, that thread is for everyone to like give advice or answer a question. That's a good point. Don't be afraid to be wrong.
I like to say comment on that, because like just this week I've been just trying to answer as many questions and I still don't know, and I am in that, like, I'm nervous, like I don't want to be wrong, but like I'm learning myself, and it does help me to just like go out there so I know that for my future coaches as well. So I hope I haven't given any wrong information this week or anything, but that's something that I'm going to try to do personally as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, that you're stepping into a leadership role by answering questions or, sending messages and even asking for advice, because someone might look at some messages you're sending and be like, oh, that's a good point. I haven't thought to word it that way. And you're helping someone else and you didn't even know it by, sending a question. Someone else might think, oh, well, Katie, I had that question too. Thank you for asking that. If it's not asked, then no one's going to get help that way, Hopefully that clears it up too. Like, there's no dumb questions. Like, that's the teacher in me. Like, ask all the questions, right? There's no dumb question. And then, don't be afraid to have a wrong answer. All of my students don't give me the right answer when I ask a question, right? And that's the point. We grow in the classroom by wrong answers, right? And they're not going to grow until they get it wrong. You're not going to get a better coach and be a better coach unless you do some things wrong and you learn how to correct it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I just wanted to say one thing too, because I know we're going over time a little bit, you guys, but in the threads and stuff, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to say something like there's a lot of notifications going on. Sometimes we have full on all day conversations in threads. Sometimes you're getting tagged in like 4 different team pages and you're just like, what the F is going on? So I just want to say this. Don't feel like if you have like 28 notifications from Elevated Alliance or one of the message threads, don't feel like you have to scroll through all of everything and catch up. Please don't do that, because you could have probably sent 10 invites in the time that it took you to scroll all the way back up and read everything that probably
has already been answered.
So I just wanted to say that, because I don't want you to think like, oh, if in order for me to ask a question, I have to go answer something or I have to go add value here. Don't feel like that. We're not saying that. But, I think you kind of get the concept of give and take. So I just don't want you to always to waste your time. Not that it's going to be a waste, but don't scroll back and think you have to keep up with everything, because there's a lot going on. You have a life. If you are working in power pockets through your day, don't make one of your power pockets scrolling through and wasting your time when you could actually be building your business. That's all I was going to say. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, I would just give a few announcements. So next week's call, we have a surprise. So make sure you're back here next week and bring 2 other people, because we want to blow this Zoom up next week. That's all we're going to say.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Instead of,
morning. And that's
so an hour earlier
5 p.m.
than normal, just because of our special guest.
Yeah, we have a guest speaker. It's going to be really fun, you guys. So
make sure you show up, bring 2 or 3 more people, bring your accountability partner, and show up next week. Also, there is a new coach training kicking off. If you were on the call last night with Lindsay Matway and the entire downline starting off on Monday. Guys, that is for you all and your new coaches to plug into. Make sure, and we will get those links sent out and make sure that you're in the group and where to add your new coaches. But if you have new coaches, they need to be in that. If you are a newer coach or you are relaunching your business, you need to be in that group, okay? Jenna and I are running the Achievers Club starting off on Monday as like a trial and error, and we just don't want you all to feel like you're left out, because we want you in that group, your coaches in that group, and really work together there. Does that make sense? Does that clear that? Was that all we had to share? The call and that new coach?
Well, and then on Friday, there's
the new opportunity.
A coaching business opportunity call with some of the top coaches in the industry, Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So, honestly, you guys, I would really encourage you, if you're serious about growing your business, this week should be all about recruiting, coaching, sharing about your story. because we have a lot of things coming up that you have the opportunity to plug your coaches into. I mean, we always have stuff going on, right? We have things for you new coaches. But this is a really stellar opportunity, and you can talk it up in your stories and talk it up in your posts. Like, listen, you guys, I have an exclusive new coach mentorship starting on Monday with the top leaders of this industry who know what the freak they're doing. So if you're serious about starting your journey with me, this is the best time to do this. I have a business opportunity call on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Comment below if you want to be on that call, or if you would like me to send you the recording. It's the perfect time to talk it up, because you have massive things to plug in people into, and own it like you are the boss and you are putting this on. Like, this is exclusive. Like, this is legit, you guys. You do not want to miss this. This has changed my life. I just earned my first paycheck. Blah, blah, blah. Like, tell a little bit about your story, and then say, this is what I have going on, and you have to be there. At least learn about this opportunity on Friday, and we can go from there, no strings attached. So like Jaden said, I'll make sure my team has the links, and knowing where to plug people in the new coach training. So don't be fearful, like, I don't know what to do. Just start talking about it. And then if you're lost, who cares? I'll help you. Okay. And you'll know where to put people, and we'll figure it out together. Okay. And then, also, I know that I announced it on my team page about the virtual retreat. That is an opportunity too. I don't know, Javen, if you talked to your team.
I did not post about it yet.
Okay. Anyways, I guess we can talk about it later, but just know that there is going to be a virtual retreat coming up in June. And in order to qualify for that, so just FYI, you guys, like, we're going to get exclusive brand new workouts from, like, literally just for those who qualify for this, from Autumn, Joel, Amwala, Elise, Shalene Johnson, and Megan Davies.
Bobby Calabrese is doing a fixate.
And yeah, Bobby Calabrese is going to be doing like a fixate thing we're going to be doing together. You're going to be learning tips. We're going to have a karaoke party. Like, it is literally going to be the best virtual Zoom retreat of the century. It's going to be so
ever.
In order to qualify for it, you have to lock in Diamond. That's all you have to do, and you have to hold it for 6 weeks. So it is not in place of Summit.
No.
Summit's still going on until, otherwise noted. But this is an opportunity, you guys. This is put on by, again, the top coaches in the industry: Danielle Natoni, Holly Hillier, Lindsay Matway, Janelle Summers, like all of these big names that have been in this industry forever. These are the people that we have the opportunity to lock arms with, because we have such an awesome team. So this is for you guys. This is for your coaches. This is for your coaches. I don't care who hits Diamond. They hit Diamond, they're invited to this retreat. So that's just something that we'll be talking about too over the next couple weeks. Any questions about all that, you guys? No? Okay, some exciting stuff. All right, Boomerang, we ready to boom?
Here comes the boom. Yeah, it has to be 6 weeks, starting April 2nd. So if you wake up April 2nd and you're already a Diamond and you just hold for 6 weeks, or it was May 30th would be the last, 21st. Yeah. 21st would be the last 6 weeks to hold. But literally that is 8 weeks away. And if you get 2 coaches a week, that's 16 coaches, and you're more than Diamond. So basically, it's doable for a veteran coach. It is way doable for a new coach as well. So,
and for new coaches also, I just wanted, sorry, I'm always having something to say, but it's really like, if you're a brand new coach and you're literally just fresh off the sign up process, it's really anywhere from April 2nd to May 21st. So don't think that, like, obviously you want to lock it in by April 2nd. Like, that's what we all want, and it's doable. I mean, I know that's really close, but just know that that's like, ugh, I can't do that, so I'm just not going to try. Don't have that mindset, because you have still May 21st until May 21st to lock it in this quarter, and to still have an opportunity to come. So, okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right.
Y'all are so pretty. Just a side point.
All right, here we go. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. All right, you guys, I'm going to be hopping on this link to work for a couple hours tonight if anybody wants some accountability. So I'm going to hop off so I can record this recording, and then you can hop back on if you want. Okay, bye.
Bye.